Well, I certainly didn't expect this. Typically when we get any updates with lore involved, they're one-off, basically meant to stop the community loreheads from complaining for the next 6 months. However, I can't believe I'm saying this, but a second lore update has hit the DEEPWOKEN servers. That makes 2 in a row, which is something that we haven't seen in years. This update came in the form of more glossary entries, and get this, only days after my video calling out the authority for their lack of lore, they added the most authority lore I've ever seen in-game. If the developers are out there watching, where's my in-game lore master title? Chop chop, I'll be waiting. Jokes aside, I'll be listing all of the known new glossary entries in this video, and reading them aloud for y'all so you can have your own thoughts on it all. Before I get into that though, be sure to like this video and subscribe. This recent update is proof that these videos are sparking real change in the way that the devs handle DEEPWOKEN lore, and if you want to support the movement, well, subscribing is hands down the best way to do it. Remember to join the Discord at discord.gg/luminal, and let's get straight into all of the recent lore glossary additions. Update to existing entry, Mer of Light, a goddess worshipped by many in the Etrian Luminate. Many believe that Mer was responsible for bringing about the knowledge of murmurs to the kingdom of Etria. As with many gods, the contemporary understanding is that Mer may have been a celestial. Andros said they hadn't seen any accounts of Mer outside of the Etrian Luminate. Update to existing entry, the Depths. Beyond Lumen, there is only the Depths, a vast and inconceivable expanse of fractured and convoluted space. The Depths is often thought to be structured in layers, referring to the distinct regions of the Depths, with deeper layers holding to the conventions of reality ever more loosely. In spite of mankind's attempts to apply structure, logic, and order to the Depths, layers are not strictly ordered in the manner that they are described in. One may conceivably travel to the third layer without ever passing through the first or second layers. This being said, the typical routes established do generally follow this order. The way most individuals reach the Depths is through the effects of drowning. Update to existing entry, Lightkeeper. Stationed in lighthouses at the edges of the luminates, these rare individuals are capable of illuminating a path through the Void Sea, forcing it to retreat. A scant few are born with the gift of lightkeeping, with each individual bearing the heavy responsibility of driving back the void to enable the transportation and exchange of goods, information, and people. Lightkeepers are afforded little freedom, often spending their lives wasting away in their lighthouses guarded by legions of soldiers. A nation's economy rests on its lightkeepers, with passage between the illuminates being strictly controlled and tariffed by the few that have lightkeepers in their retinue. The radiant tones utilized by adherents of the Dawnwalker Oath are based on research into lightkeeping, though are incapable of illuminating the void. Pathfinders. Those who make a living by exploring ruins and driftlands. Many are scavengers looking to fence the treasures they find, though there are many ways to turn a profit. The Central Authority. The predominant military and political force within the Central Authority and perhaps even across all of Lumen. Built upon the foundations of the Adresian Empire, who headed the coalition of nations that came together to found the Central Authority in 65 BCE. The Central Authority's stated goal is to unify all of the world under one banner, in a bid to present a united front against the Depths. To many, and indeed to those they have conquered, the Central Authority is an empire all the same. Despite their imperial proclivities, they are the primary funders of expeditions into the Depths by the Divers and the Ignition Union. The Central Authority is held by the Sovereign Drellis-Ur and his council. An immortal, the Sovereign has been the head of state for the Central Authority since its inception. The Sovereign Drellis-Ur. An ageless Adretian man, the Sovereign has been the supreme ruler of the Central Authority since its inception. The histories recount that Drellis-Ur became a hero in the Adresian Empire by dispelling the godstorm that had brought the nation to its knees, bringing peace to its people. With the Adresian Empire and his line having fallen to the godstorm, Drellis took the reins and spearheaded the coalition that would become the Central Authority. Beyond the histories told by the Citadel, little is known about the man himself. His identity is one of the most enduring mysteries of the era. Some skeptics believe that the identity of the Sovereign is actually passed down in secret, and that the supposed immortality of its ruler is merely propaganda designed to suppress resistance. Driftlands. Islands that have a tendency to drift in and out of the Void Sea are known as driftlands. Due to the anomalous metaphysics of the Void Sea, driftlands often appear to be unscathed by the effects of time, almost as if their time in the void was a frozen moment. The drowned city of Seltor, formerly the capital of the Seltor peoples, now a site of pilgrimage for those lost to the depths. At the center lies the Cathedral of the Instasis, to which many travel in the hopes of succeeding in its trial. The city of Seltor was dragged down from the surface to the depths in an event known as the Submergence of Seltor in 904 CE. Flame Charm. the ability to conjure flames and heat through the song. As an achievement, Flame Charm is thought to have been discovered and pioneered by Amorous Pleixti, who is said to have descended into the third layer and consumed a flower of Coral Fiend, a drowned god. Productions of Flame Through the Song are recorded in histories prior to Pleixti's discovery of the attunement, and indeed, these were the foundation of the so-called song work that spurred the Cataclysms industry. The Central Luminant. The central and largest luminant of all, the Central Luminant is a tumultuous region that is governed overall by the Central Authority. Enclaves outside of the Central Authority's purview do exist within the Central Luminant, however. One such example is the Lullaby Isles, the homeland of the Chrysid and the Moonlit Faith. The Citadel of Markor. Perhaps the most prominent research organization in Lumen, the Citadel pride themselves as the foremost keepers of knowledge, history, and research into Lumen and the surrounding depths. The Citadel receives the majority of its funding from the Central Authority, a contribution that the Authority claims falls in line with a desire for global unity, and for a united front against the depths. The widely used epoch of CE in dates refers to Citadel era, i.e. the year since the foundation of the Citadel. Lumen, the world you call home. Lumen is composed of two halves, the surface below and the heavens above. The skies between the surface and the heavens are obscured by vast amounts of void fog. The Eternal Gale, the second layer. Said to be a snow-torn hellscape buffeted by the winds of Etheron, the second layer makes the first seem safe by comparison. Black Divers. The highest-ranking field personnel of the divers, granted oversight and authority second only to the administrators of operating bases. Black divers have all descended beyond the first layer on solo expeditions and have lived to tell the tale. As such, every black diver stands as a formidable individual, with many of their rank consisting of the most brilliant and twisted minds of the era. Mantras, a small passage of the song that can be spoken in order to invoke its effects into being. Though a mantra is described as a passage that one speaks, the words can't be pronounced, at least not by a human, and are not strictly even sounds. Those that speak aloud the name of a mantra, they're not speaking the words of a mantra. They do so in order to bring forth the mantra's words in their mind. Speech isn't necessary to cast mantras. The precise means of invoking a mantra varies from person to person, but is broadly described as speaking from within, akin to holding an inner monologue, or to bringing a memory to the forefront of your thoughts. Often, the more one understands and is able to conjure forth the words of a mantra, the more effective they are at using it. Okay, so that's all that's been added recently that I've come across. There's probably an entry or two that I've missed in this video, so feel free to send them over via Discord if I have missed any of them. It really doesn't help that glossary entries are somewhat bugged at the moment, but I'll still take it regardless. To be honest, seeing the massive quantity of authority lore these entries give us was really quite surprising. It feels like a direct response to my video, and, well, speaking of my video, this new lore unfortunately renders my theory, at the very least, partially incorrect. In my opinion, it's still fairly clear that the Celestials are puppeteering Duralis, but the devs have now established that the Godstorm was a literal disaster, and the existence of an Adresian Empire was not something that I expected. It can be assumed that this empire was established following the Cataclysm, so here's my micro theory just for y'all who have kept watching the video. I believe that the mountain settlements of the Adrets became the vast recipients of refugees following the rise of the tides, making the Adrets the rulers of the largest remaining settlements of mortal life. This would hence spawn an Adresian Empire. As for the Godstorm, I'd have to assume it was spawned by the drowned gods instead of the Celestials, perhaps as an attempt to destroy celestial influence, which Duralis then overcame. Proving himself worthy to bear the Celestials' will, they made him immortal and the ruler of the new, well, central authority. The rest of my previous authority theory stands the same, and I definitely still stand by it. Regardless, thank you for watching this video. Apologies for the uncharacteristic 4 to 5 day break. I'm working out how I can improve my content. I understand it's not of the highest quality at the moment. I hear you, and I want that to change. Ultimately though, I'm still learning. I blew up way fast and now I'm in a position to change things, but I can't do that while staying stagnant. I've been experimenting with a new type of video and I assume you'll see that soon. On another note, we're almost the biggest lore channel to ever grace DEEPWOKEN. We'll overtake both Lore Freak and the DEEPWOKEN lore god soon enough. That makes me the biggest authority on DEEPWOKEN lore and I really don't know how to feel about it. I'll try to do this community justice, but I'm not perfect. I may get things wrong and when I do, I'll need y'all to correct me. Thank you for supporting this channel. I have big things planned. Bigger than you could ever imagine. Stay well and stay blessed. I'll see you in the next video. God bless you.